speaking of the Jews, there is a controversy right now around genital mutilation. And this is coming from the left. It's actually coming from a guy who kind of sort of calls himself a conservative, even though he's really more on the left, Andrew Sullivan. And it's a response to the conservatives who say we should not trans the kids. Transing the kids is wrong. We shouldn't be chopping up little kids' genitals and pumping them full of cross-sex hormones and making little boys look like little girls. And Andrew Sullivan raises an objection. He says, I wonder how many people who oppose child sex changes also oppose circumcision. Similar principle of the bodily integrity of children, especially their sex organs. I've actually given speeches before, and people have raised this point with me. Even somewhat conservative people have raised this point. Michael, how can you be against transing kids if you have no problem with circumcision? And I see how this could be confusing if you are starting from the premises of the liberals. Even if you think you're a conservative, like Andrew Sullivan or some of the people who've asked me these questions at speeches, the way this is being framed is from an essentially liberal perspective. And Andrew Sullivan admits it. He says it's the principle of the bodily integrity of children. And bodily integrity is a phrase that means autonomy, self-ownership, self-determination. And because you're not asking the little babies, do you want to have your foreskin clipped, this is violating their bodily integrity. That's a liberal premise. I don't think that children have bodily autonomy exactly. When I tell my kid to go to bed and he whines and screams and cries, he says, I don't want to go to bed. Well, that's too bad. I guess technically I'm violating his bodily autonomy because he wants to stay out and play with his toys and read little books. And I'm saying, no, sorry, buddy, you got to put on the sleep sack, put you in your crib. And this is true that when my kid doesn't want to eat and I say, finish your plate, he says, no, I don't want to eat. And then we say, finish your plate. I guess that's violating his bodily autonomy. No, the issue with transing the kids is not that it violates their bodily autonomy. The issue with transing the kids is that it violates a principle of reality, namely that boys can't really be girls. That's the problem. When you have your little kid get a haircut, he doesn't want to get a haircut, you're violating their bodily autonomy. That's not the issue. The issue is that you are violating a principle of justice and virtue. The reason I say this is from a liberal premise here, and the people who begin with that liberal premise have a hard time understanding this, is that for the libs, autonomy is everything. This is true. You obviously see this with the modern radical left-wing libs, the ones who say, oh, we need to be able to shtup whoever we want and destroy our bodies however we want, do whatever drugs we want. It's my body, my choice, man. That's what the modern libs believe. Even the classical liberals really, really value autonomy. So I need to be able to do whatever I want, trade whatever I want. Don't you come anywhere near me, man. Don't you impose your rules on me. I don't have to listen to anybody, whether it's the law, whether it's tradition, whether it's society. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do whatever I want. But those are both just liberal positions. The conservative values autonomy to some degree, but only as a secondary matter of importance. For the conservative, a more important priority would be virtue and justice, the higher political ends.